Hi, this is John Kassir, the voice of The Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Without Your Head. I love a girl who'll give you head, and then let you keep it. Oops, she's without her head.
Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Dr. Bob Tesla of Midnight Monster Movies. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Excellent. So you have a big 24-hour marathon coming up for Wild Eye
Yep.
releasing films.
Yeah, this weekend. It's going to be crazy. We did a 24-hour marathon last year of Christopher R. Mims films, and if you know who Christopher R. Mims is, his movies are very different from Wild Eye's movies. They're 50s homage, and Wild Eye, we were like, okay, let's do our next marathon this year. Ooh, Wild Eye has a lot of movies, and there's some that should probably keep people awake, so let's do that.
So how did this come about? How long have you been doing the 24-hour marathons?
Well, I've been going to local 24-hour sci-fi and horror marathons for decades here in Columbus, Ohio. But last year it was just with Christopher R. Mims, we found out, there's just enough films of his to do a 24-hour marathon, and we're like, okay, let's do that. And we had him in, and we did a nice little event with it. And with Wild Eye, we started with them a little over a year ago, doing a thing on our YouTube channel called Wild Eye Reactions, where we are reacting to the best and the worst movies they have to offer. And some of those have been really good finds that have worked their way into our normal monthly show at the Gateway Film Center. The Caesar and Otto franchise was a big surprise hit for us. We did not know it was going to be nearly as good as it was when we started watching it. You know, we were expecting something like a scary movie, franchise, which, I don't have to tell you, that's not a good franchise. But it turned out to be more like Airplane. And that was just so much fun. It's like we loved it. The one that we're showing in October at our normal show, which is second Saturday at the Gateway Film Center, it's called The Neon Dead. And that was another surprise hit because we watched that and we're just like, oh my God, this is so good. Then we've had movies that were not so good. Showgirls 2.
I've not seen Showgirls 2.
Yeah. Pardon me?
I've not seen Showgirls 2. I've seen Neon Dead, though. I did enjoy Neon Dead.
Oh, yeah. Neon Dead. I kind of liken it to Ghostbusters on a really low budget.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Yeah.
So how did you pick which ones would be in the 24-hour marathon?
Well, I had told Rob over at Wild Eye, Rob Housechild, I was like, hey, if we're going to do this, which ones do you want me to show? And he gave me a whole list of them, and I went through those and said, okay, yes on this, no on that. Let's try to, get this down to a nice, tight 24 hours. When he told me Asylum of Darkness, he was really pushing Asylum of Darkness, and we found out, that was filmed here in Columbus, Ohio. So once we put that on the list, he said that the cast and crew would like to do a Q&A.
Nice.
So we had to move the schedule around a little bit to give them time because it originally it was like around 4 a.m, and we're like, we don't want to do that. So we moved that up to right after the dinner break. So it's 6:56.
Yeah.
So it'll be that one.
Yeah.
Also, the first thing we ever did for Wild Eye was back in our second season, we showed Night of the Living Dead Reanimated. And I don't know if you've seen that from them.
I haven't.
100 different artists animated scenes from Night of the Living Dead. And it's a very cool concept. And I just was like, okay, if I'm showing this, I want something to set it apart. So I made it side by side with the original.
Mm-hmm.
And that really just made the audience go crazy. They loved it. And that has probably been our most requested movie to bring back at our show. We don't normally do reruns. We don't repeat. We're new every month. But we were like, okay, well, let's take this opportunity to put that in there, to do it again. And so we're doing it again as a simultaneous double feature. But this time, because of the upgraded capabilities of our new theater, because we did that one at our original theater, which is the Grandview Theater, and at that time they didn't have HD capabilities, whereas Gateway is full HD, so it looks really good this time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do that one. We told him, Rob, that we definitely wanted the Disco Exorcist. The Disco Exorcist was the first movie we did for our Wild Eye reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And it just set the tone for all the rest that we've done since then, because it was crazy and out there and also pretty good too. So it was just like all the good stuff that we wanted was in Disco Exorcist. And we still, to this day, when we're watching the movies every month for Wild Eye reactions, we kind of go, is this as good as Disco Exorcist? And usually not.
That's the bar, Disco Exorcist.
Yes. Well, Disco Exorcist was definitely a hit with us. I mean, another surprise one for us, this one, not exactly horror, but it was Adventures into the Woods, which we don't know anything about the movies going into them other than the trailer,
right?
Because we don't want to taint our reaction. We want to have an honest reaction going in, whether it's good, bad, whatever. So we didn't know this at the time, but Adventures into the Woods was a recut porn. But yeah, we knew it was a nude musical, and so we're watching it and we're just dying in laughter, because it's actually, the music was pretty good, and it's actually one of the better films that we've watched. But then when Ron Jeremy shows up as a singing and dancing Merlin, well, yeah, y'all let your imagination go on that one.
You're in for a good time at that point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but the movies we have for this lineup, we got Tales of Poe, which we actually reacted to last month. Since we knew we were going to do it, it was like, let's check this out. Tales of Poe is really good. It was a good surprise to us. I actually, in the video, in the reaction video, I actually compared it favorably to Extraordinary Tales by Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
It's, an anthology of 3 Poe stories. Mm-hmm. One of them is very faithfully done. Another one takes some weird liberties with it. And the other one's actually a adaptation of his poem, Dreams. Mm-hmm. So it's this weird, trippy kind of fever dream quality to it. And it's very artistic on the final segment on there. So, but it was also very weird. It was like, what's going on? Wait, what's going on? Why is there a tap dancing demon? So the second one is Cesar Nauta's Deadly Xmas, which we have reacted to before, and we showed their Paranormal Halloween a few months back at our normal show. Mm-hmm. And have you seen any of the Cesar Nauta franchise?
No, I've not.
Oh, they are hysterical. They are great. You should check them out. Mm-hmm. Then we've got Queen Crab. Queen Crab we've shown at our normal show. It's directed and special effects is by Brett Piper. Do you know who Brett Piper is?
I've seen Queen Crab. I really like the stop motion.
Oh yeah. Well, and he's the guy who brought Troma's Nymphoid Barbarian and Dinosaur Hell, to the screen. Well, yeah, Queen Crab, the stop motion was so good. It was just like I was just blown away with how good that was, because usually, you see the Asylum and you get low budget CGI.
Right.
And Queen Crab, I think, is proof where it's like, if you're on a budget, low budget stop motion beats low budget CGI any day.
100%.
Yeah.
Much more charm to it.
Yeah. Asylum of Darkness, which I were saying,
I really like Asylum of Darkness. Kind of reminded me of a Twilight Zone, but a longer version.
Yeah, and of course, late great Richard Hatch in it. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. I've seen some of it while I've been putting together the video files and everything. And being in Columbus, Ohio myself, I'm going, hey, I recognize that place. I know where that was filmed. So, then we got Bigfoot the movie, which I liken it slightly to Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Okay.
In that you have these hillbillies, good old boys that end up over their head. So then we got the Night of the Living Dead simultaneous double feature, the Disco Exorcist, Frankenstein's Hungry Dead, which was also directed by Richard Griffin. So we've got a nice little Richard Griffin block there. Mm-hmm. Frankenstein's Hungry Dead is actually very nicely done. It was shot inside an actual wax museum in Massachusetts, I think.
Nice. That's where I'm from.
Okay, yeah. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but it is a really nice, it's this horror-themed wax museum, and you got all these classic monsters in there. It's great. You got Shark Exorcist, which is not as great as Disco Exorcist.
I've seen Shark Exorcist. I'll say it's a very cool poster. I'll say that.
Yes. Yes. Actually, we reacted to that one before on Wild Eye Reactions, and I think my main problem with that one is it needed to have one ending. It's like, you're not a Marvel film. We don't need to keep coming back into this during the credits. But, it's going to be a fun time. I'm sure we've got that around 5 o'clock, and I think the audience is going to get a little rowdy at that point. They may need to, have something to snark on a little, to riff off of, and that might be that one. Clown Kill is after that one, which it's a British film, it looked like. Its original title was Lock In, and it's interesting. I watched it, and it's have you seen that?
No, I've not seen Clown Kill.
Yeah. I don't think it's as bad as like some of the IMDb comments on it would have you believe. It's got some interesting stuff to it. When the clown shows up and starts killing people, it's some of the kills are relatively creative, and if you are afraid of clowns, this might be the movie to nap through. Wait, I skipped one. I skipped one between Shark Exorcist and Clown Kill.
Yes.
Sodomaniac.
I love the title.
Sodomaniac. This is one where we did a reaction on this one, and we kind of love to hate it. It's not that we hated the film so much, but we hated the characters, because the characters, it follows this so-called wolf pack of these guys that go drug women, and have sex with them at clubs. And so, of course, these are not likable guys. And so when they start dying, we're all like, yes. So we actually, I talked with the creators of Sodomaniac after we did the reaction, which some of them are coming in for this. And they were like, "Oh, well, we're sorry you didn't like the film." And it's like, no, you're not understanding. We're okay with the film. We hated the characters, which is what you were going for. And they're like, well, yeah, you didn't want us to like these characters. So us yelling at these characters to die is not a reflection of the movie. I think they said the movie was made for $350.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm fine with them making a movie on $350.
Sure.
It's, the characters we want dead.
Yeah.
And then back the final movie of the 24 hours at 10:13 in the morning will be Badass Monster Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've only seen the trailer on it because even though I was putting the video together, I've purposely trying to not watch bits of it because we're going to attempt to do a live Wild Eye reactions to that with some of our crew. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be interesting. We're going to be up for over 24 hours at that point trying to be intelligible watching this movie. But it's just from the trailer, it's so colorful and out there. It's the tagline for it is H.P. Lovecraft meets Shaft. And we were just like, okay, we got to at least try to do a reaction to that. So.
Yeah. He's a mean mother. Watch your mouth. I'm just talking about Thulu.
Yeah, exactly. It really it's got a great look to it. It's kind of got a Sin City style look to it because I think it was all filmed on a sound stage with, green screen backgrounds and things like that, which can be bad and can be good. One of the movies that we've reacted to, The Amazing Bulk, was done that way, and it was not good. But this has I've got a really strong feeling about this. I've got a very positive feeling just from that trailer because it's loud, it's explosive, it's out there, it looks crazy in all the good ways.
Mm-hmm. I like the poster. It looks like Sin City.
Yeah. And see, also everyone who comes to the marathon, I should say while supplies last, we're going to have swag bags. They're going to have a free movie in them from Wild Eye. Nice. There's going to be coupons for free sliders from White Castle.
Nice.
We're also going to have other things in the bags for people. Everyone who makes it through each of the 12 movies, we're going to go around and stamp their ticket during the movie. If they make it through all of them, they get a free 6-month membership to the Midnight Monsters, which is the official fan club of Midnight Monster Movies with Dr. Bob. So it's a good time. People should come out for it.
Sounds awesome. I was going to ask if you get something, because I do go to a 12-hour Halloween movie marathon in Boston at Coolidge after midnight, and you get like a pin saying that you survived the marathon. But this is twice as long, and sometimes I take a nap during a movie or two during the 12-hour one. So twice as long. That's a lot of dedication.
Yeah. Well, we liked giving away little bags. We did that last year at the Mim Marathon that we did, the Mimathon. We had little bits and pieces in the bags that had to do with movies that were being watched. Like one of the characters in one of the movies had a lucky coin, so we put a little lucky coin in each of them. One of his movies takes place in caves under the earth, so we put a little geode in each bag, things like that. Yeah. We're just trying to make it special. We want people, if you're going to be there for 24 hours, if you're giving us, let's see, it's $30 in advance or $35 at the door for the straight ticket, or there's also additional dinner and breakfast buffet options that are you can buy. It's available through gatewayfilmcenter.org. But if you're going to be giving us, $30 or $35 at the door to sit through, 12 movies, let's get you something in exchange for that. And so we asked Wild Eye, and they said, yeah, we can give them, we can give each person a movie, no problem. And we, talked to White Castle, and they're like, yeah, here you go. So they gave us coupons for free sliders and free breakfast sandwiches. And during the night, at some point, we're going to be giving away a coupon for a free Crave case from White Castle.
What's a Crave case?
It's a cardboard box full of 30 sliders.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where somebody's going to walk away with that, and that's going to be like, okay, well, I don't have to eat for a week now.
I don't have White Castle here. I've only had White Castle once when I was in Chicago.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Well, White Castle is it's kind of an Ohio tradition. I know it's outside of Ohio as well, but they're all over here in Ohio. They're little tiny hamburgers. Of course, if you've seen Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, there's a certain taste to them. They're onion grilled, and it's like they might not be what people think of as the greatest burgers in the world, but you do crave them sometimes. It's like, I want a slider. So,
and I assume you have bathrooms in the theater.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, the Gateway Film Center is a hell of a theater. It's on OSU campus. It's just right across the street from campus. It's bright. It's shiny. We've got, very clean, bathrooms, state-of-the-art projection, really comfortable seating, very comfortable seating. It's stadium seating, so you don't have bad seating. You don't have a bad seat in the house. You'll see what's going on. Unless, someone like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar comes and sits in front of you, you're going to be able to see the movie just fine.
When you put together a 24-hour movie marathon, is the order of the movies important? Kind of like when you're making a mixtape, you want a particular order?
Yeah, I mean, a bit, especially since we actually have this marathon kind of broken up into two halves thematically. The first half of it, up through Night of the Living Dead Reanimated, it's the Midnight Monster Movies with Dr. Bob half of it. It's the movies that are more accessible, the movies that we would have no problem showing at Midnight Monster Movies. We don't show, say, rape or, really uncomfortable scenes during Midnight Monster Movies normally. We show movies that people can just come and have fun with. So that was the first half, and Tales of Poe Tales of Poe is a longer film and it's a little more serious film. So it's like, let's put that in on the lead slot. And then everything else on there was, it's like, okay, where do we want to put this? Where do we want to put this? And then after Night of the Living Dead Reanimated, we go into the Wild Eye Reactions half of it. And so we were like, okay, let's do the crazy movies on that half, because that might help keep people a little more awake too. Right. Disco Exorcist, of course, since we loved Disco Exorcist so much and it was our first Wild Eye Reaction, we're like, okay, we got to lead off with that. And we wanted to end with Badass Monster Killer because of the Wild Eye Reaction on that. So it basically was me kind of playing chess on the schedule a little bit. I had a spreadsheet, it's like, okay, if I put this here and this here. And also before each of the movies actually play, we have our host segment where we talk to the audience for a few minutes, but then we have videos going into it for a few minutes, for about 10 minutes of videos going into the movie, where it's trailers for Wild Eye movies or drive-in movie clips from old drive-in movie theaters, or extras from the DVDs. Like we've got, from Caesar Nato, we've got some of the outtakes on different movies. We've got the alternate ending for Sodomaniac, plays after it, things like that. So
what's the history of Midnight Monster Movies? When did you start that?
We started that back February 2012. We're finishing up our 6th season here soon. We've only got a few more shows left. It's second Saturday every month. We started at the Grandview Theater, but we left there to go to the Gateway on our season. The beginning of our 3rd season, we started at the Gateway Film Center because it was a more compatible theater with us. Plus, we were kind of worried that the Grandview might go under, and we were like, let's get somewhere good here. So We have the host is, Dr. Bob Tesla, Nikola Tesla's younger, smarter, better looking brother. We do have Nikola Tesla there in spirit. We have a brain in a tank there that is Nikola Tesla's brain. So at least we claim it to be. We have people like Rick Edison come in and be Dr. Bob's nemesis sometimes. Sometimes we all band together to save the world from alien invaders, which we did that our first year at the Gateway on our third season. We had this alien species called the Grotak that were attacking the Earth, and we found out that their weakness was puns, which of course Dr. Bob is notorious for having very bad puns. But he couldn't save the world alone, so he banded together, and we had horror hosts from all over contribute. They came up on the big screen, and we all banded together to beat back the alien invasion. We had Count Gore up there. We had Janet Decay. We had Phil and Eric. We had Crichton and the Invisible Man from Gula Gogo. Bobby Gamonster, the internet horror host. We had all of them up there, all helping out save the world. It went over great. And so since that's happened, we've done it again and again.
Very cool. What kind of movies do you normally show? Is it 35 millimeter? Is it newer stuff?
No, it's usually it's not on film. It's usually video because we have to do editing involved on there because we have to put in an intermission, which we try to do like old style breaks, because we'll put in an intermission and we have 3 host segments, one in beginning, middle, and end. We've got little videos that play before and during the intermission to kind of help set the tone. We've got the movies that we show a wide gamut. The big thing is they just have to be good. And not have to be good. They have to be fun.
Right.
We had a few where we played that ended up just being really boring, and we're like, no. Mm-hmm. We showed Manos: The Hands of Fate this season, and it's actually a fun movie. It's not that. It's a bad movie, but it's not boring bad. You can have fun with it. We show every year. We show Christopher R. Mims' Ohio premiere. So in December, we will be showing Demon with the Atomic Brain, which is a 50s throwback. All of his movies are 50s throwbacks, black and white. And we also try to do something different with most of the movies. Like for Christopher R. Mims movies, he's going for the old look to them. So we add an old sound to it. We do what's called retro audio to it, where we add a film projector sound effect to it. So it sounds like it's in the 50s and you're sitting in a movie theater. When we showed Plan 9 from Outer Space, we had pie plate flying saucers fly down over everybody's heads. We showed, The Ghastly Love of Johnny X, which is a musical, a kind of a 50s style musical with like teenagers from outer space and things like that. Mm-hmm. And when we had that, we mocked up the alien ship, the alien mothership that comes down at the end, and we had that fly over everyone's heads. We've had when we showed Vampire Ticks from Outer Space, we made a bunch of the vampire ticks because we're looking at the video and we were like, it kind of looks like they took whoopee cushions and glued legs to them. So that's what we did. We inflated whoopee cushions, glued legs to them, and threw them out into the audience. We called it Dodge-O-Rama. We try to do things like that when we can. We also take chances and show, new filmmakers sometimes. And, just this last week, we showed Werewolf Bitches from Outer Space, which is from Dylan Mars Greenberg and Reverend Jen in New York City. It's like I guess you'd call them trauma graduates. Dylan Greenberg was an inductee into the Trauma Institute for Gifted Youth, and it was completely shot in the trauma style of no budget, no permits. We've got a camera. Let's hurry up and film this before the cops show up. So I would not say it's the best movie we ever showed, but it was a movie. And it wasn't boring. It did make us go, what the hell is wrong with New York City? Because you have these people running around in werewolf masks, attacking and killing people in the streets, and you see people just walking by, talking on their phones, not paying any attention.
So do you get a lot of repeat people? It's like a community? Yeah.
I mean, we get a lot of new people every month, and some show up back again, some don't. But we do also have a good core group that keeps showing up. It's usually a good core, about 30 people. We have, a fan club. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got the Midnight Monsters, which is $20 a year, and it gets you discounts. You get the quarterly newsletter we send out that has interviews with directors and actors that we've talked to. You get all kinds of stuff. You get access to the live stream of our show. You get early seating. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We also have a board game, which the board game that we have, one person bought it when we first put it out, and came back the very next month and bought 2 more because he said it was so much fun and he wanted to give it away to people so that they could play it. And what the game is you're trying to make the best episode of Midnight Monster Movies. So you're going around trying to come up with the best title of the movie you're showing, the best special effects, things like that. However, so's everyone else, and they're trying to get rid of their bad cards by putting them on your movie. But you don't know what they're putting on there because it's all done kind of blind. You know what you have, but once you play that card, once you put it down on your card or anybody else's, you have no idea what's there anymore because it can get traded, swapped, and you can't look at them once they're down. So once the game is over and everyone has their cards and they're revealing what movie they're doing, it can be a big surprise sometimes. And you're like, what? I didn't play that card on me. And it's like, nope, I did. So
that sounds, I'm a fan of old school games, old card games, board games, extra physical games. So I love the board game idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We're borrowing heavily from the cheap ass games model where you don't need a box, you don't need fancy stuff. You just need a bag with the instructions and what they need to play. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I finally found it here on your Facebook page. Yeah, I see this little board there and cards with yourself, a little caricature of yourself on the back of the cards. I like it. Yeah,
it's like I said, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, we have a lot of fun with Midnight Monster Movies. It's we've been doing this. We're coming up on the end of 6 seasons. We got to have fun, or else we wouldn't keep on doing it. The movies are great. The audience reactions to the movies are great. I know. I also put a lot of thought and work into the video editing on it because when we go in, we have a serial that we watch during seating because the movie starts at midnight, but 11:30 is when we open seating, and we have a chapter of an old serial beforehand. We just finished up last week the Phantom, and since it was the last episode of the Phantom, we presented it in Phantovision, which is I colored everything purple. But the fan club actually voted on which serial we'll be doing next, which is going to be Captain America.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've shown both of the Batman serials. We've shown Flash Gordon, and the audience, usually votes on it in some form or another. Like this time, we've got the fan club doing it. The other videos, like for Werewolf Bitches from Outer Space, since we were showing that, we put on. Trauma has a couple of episodes of a show called Werewolf in a Wheelchair. So we put that on beforehand so people could watch that and go, what the hell is this? So I know we also do mystery movies twice a year, where mystery movies is like no one knows what it is going into it. It's just going to be a surprise. Mm-hmm. And November is going to be a mystery superhero movie because November we got a lot of superhero movies coming out with, Thor Ragnarok and Justice League and all that. And we're just like, okay, obviously with that many superhero movies on there, we need to figure out something to show. So, people won't know what it is when they walk in, but I guarantee they'll have a fun time with it.
Uh-huh. I'm just going to put a guess out there. Howard the Duck is my guess.
I know probably half of the audience would love that. I know the other half would probably kill me. We also have had some fun with fake outs on there. We post clip episodes after the show about a week after on our YouTube page, where it's kind of like best of what happened at the show. And for when we did a mystery vampire movie, we had a fake out at the beginning because I started playing the opening to Once More with Feeling, the Buffy musical episode. And I'm hearing the people, so there's a couple of people in the audience going, yes! And then you hear a record scratch and it goes to black, and you can hear it in the clip, the agony of, no, that's not okay. And, then we went on with the real one, which I won't say what it was, but I'll say it was a Chinese take on a vampire movie. So not what you would be expecting.
Mm-hmm. That sounds very cool.
Yeah.
So what are your inspirations to do this?
Well, we take a lot from William Castle. William Castle, I have said to many people, and is our patron saint of our show. We use as many gimmicks as we can. We do as much showmanship as we can. The man, the man was really ahead of his time. I think that if he was alive now, he would be using social media like a pro. He'd be a boss at this. But we just loved what he did. I know my dream for the show is at some point to be able to show the Tingler with the seat buzzers. Uh-huh. But we need a lot more money to be able to retrofit seat buzzers. We are a free show normally. On our second Saturday's show is always free. So it's not like we make a ton of money off of this, so, we need to sell a lot of fan club memberships or back us on Patreon or buy your ticket to the marathon here next week. Mm-hmm. And, if we can get enough money, that's my dream, is to be able to just seat buzzer the theater and do the Tingler. That's definitely our inspiration. I know Christopher R. Mim actually helped shape our film unintentionally, our show unintentionally, because our first 6 episodes were his. Way back in 2012, I had a friendship with him from meeting him at the Monster Bash, and when I put together to do this show, I said, hey, you mind if I show your movies? And I thought he might say, oh, I could show 1 or 2. And he's like, you can show all of them. And at that point, he had 6. Mm-hmm. So we showed all 6. first 6 movies, so 6 months of it, and it's this 50s retro vibe. And we had the audience get attacked by monsters from the movie. Like the Monster Phantom Lake was his first movie. So in the very first episode we did, we mocked up a cheap version of the costume and had somebody attack the audience during it. And it was so much fun. We were like, okay, this is the kind of vibe we want to go with. These 50s, 60s retro drive-in kind of feel where it's like, okay, I know what we're going to do. It's these might not be good movies, but they're going to be fun movies. And that's what we want every month. We want people to come out going, that was fun. We actually have a review on our Facebook page where a person said, I don't know what movie's going to show every month, but I know I'm going to have fun.
Mm-hmm. And that's all that matters. There's something about seeing a movie on the big screen that's totally different than watching it on your computer, your phone, even your TV. And then adding in the community aspect and like kind of the whole show there, it's just a fun time. It's an experience.
Yeah. Sometimes we've had movies that shockingly are really good. And sometimes we also have movies that are, the audience feels the need that they need to help out a little bit with some jokes. Like we showed Ink. Ink is a beautiful, moving, emotional, artistic film. Mm-hmm. And the audience loved it. It was definitely one of the more powerful movies we've shown. And I actually waited until I think I showed it last season because I didn't know how our audience would react to it because it is such an emotional movie, but they loved it. We showed Turbo Kid last year, and Turbo Kid is an awesome movie.
Yeah. I love that. Was one of my favorites the last few years. Yeah.
It was just so much fun. We also have shown movies though that, there's a term, riffing, like a la riff tracks or Mystery Science Theater. There's also a more local term. They call it snarking on movies. When we have movies that are, say, like Plan 9 from Outer Space or, movies that are just like, okay, this needs some help. And the audience is always willing to help out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Are those the kind of movies you grew up watching? Like, what made you a movie fan?
Well, I've always been a sci-fi fan for, years and years and years and years. One of my earliest memories is seeing Star Wars at the drive-in. And I tell people that to this day, I hold a grudge against Grease. Because when my mom took me to see it at the drive-in, it was the Star Wars re-release partnered with Grease. And I had to sit through Grease as, I'm like, 3, 4 years old. I had to sit through Grease to get to Star Wars. And I'm like bored out of my skull during Grease. All I remember is thinking when the car flew off at the end going, wait, the car could fly? Why weren't they doing that the entire movie? And I had to sit through Grease to get to Star Wars. So to this day, it's like, Grease. So I've always, liked sci-fi and, by extension, you have horror. I remember in elementary school, seeing Alien when it was on TV, which of course the worst parts of it were cut out and all, but it was great. The local horror host here on TV was Fritz the Night Owl, and he'd have a thing on, I believe it was Friday Friday nights, I think it was, called Double Chiller Theater, where they would have 2, horror movies back to back. And so, here I am in elementary school, like 2nd grade, 3rd grade. And, my mom would say, all right, I'll wake you up and, go to bed, and then I'll wake you up in time for this if you want to see it. Because, I'd look to see what movies were playing. It'd be like, if there was like a Godzilla movie playing, it's like, oh no, I need to see this. So I would, watch Double Chiller Theater, in elementary school. And that really, just put me right on the path to liking horror and sci-fi movies. I've been going to the 24-hour sci-fi marathon since 1992 here in Columbus, which is where I've actually come across some of the movies that we've later shown. I mean, I saw Ink at the sci-fi marathon a few years back, and it was just like, that's a beautiful movie. I want to show that. So, and my wife, who is basically a co-creator of our show. I mean, this show would not be anywhere near as good if it were not for her, because she basically runs the show. I'm just the face on it. She's the brains behind the operation. But she is more of a horror fan, whereas I'm more of a sci-fi fan. So between the two of us, we've got it covered.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So, where can you get the tickets for the event this weekend?
gatewayfilmcenter.org. There's also a link to it on our event page, on our Facebook page, which you can go like us at Midnight Monster Movies with Dr. Bob on Facebook.
Yeah.
The Facebook, or not Facebook, gatewayfilmcenter.org page. It's got the links to buy the tickets. It's also got the buffet add-ons on there. You can pick on that. That's something new they're trying this year, which I hope goes well for them, because having real food at a marathon is a nice thing. They're doing kind of a gateway, or not gateway, a tailgate buffet kind of thing. So it should be really cool. And they're also having a breakfast buffet. We're going to have all you can eat, all you can drink, pop and coffee specials. So you should go get your tickets there at the Gateway Film Center, and you're going to have a great time. I can promise you that you're going to have a great time.
Sounds awesome. And where can people follow everything Midnight Monster Movies? I think you just type it in and you're going to find it.
Yeah. Well, we do have a website, www.midnightmonstermovies.com, which it's in the process of getting revamped. Our web mistress took over a few months back, and she's actually wanting to rewrite the entire code on it. So that's going to take a while. So until that gets done, we kind of have the old site, which is okay. You can find links to us. We've got links to our YouTube page off of there, which the YouTube page gets updated. Let's see, second Saturday of every month is our show at the Gateway Film Center. Third Saturday is the YouTube clip show of the Gateway show. And then fourth Saturday is our Wild Eye reactions on the YouTube page, which the YouTube page is where you can see everything. If you're not local, it'd be a good thing to do. If you are not local, you may want to consider joining the Midnight Monsters, because then you can get access to the live stream of our show at the Gateway Film Center.
Very cool. Well, I hope it's a big success. If I was closer, I'd definitely go there. I love marathons. I love seeing the movies on the big screen. I really like Wild Eye movies in general, so it sounds like an awesome time.
Oh, yeah, it'll be great. And really looking forward to, we got the cast and crew for Asylum of Darkness. We've got the people, at least a couple of the people who made Sodomaniac are going to be there. And we may have a couple more of people who made the films that are going to be there as well for different movies. So, you never know. You might be sitting next to the person who directed that movie.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, this is Anthony P. Ferrante, director of the Sharknado Quadrilogy, and you're listening to Without Your Head.